Hello, this is Mark Mitchell from Wizard Strategy. Today I want to talk about how to be more effective online. And what got me thinking about this was I live in Boulder, Colorado, and we have this. Boulder is a pretty crazy place, and we have a street called the Pearl Street Mall that runs right through the center of town. And it's always crowded. It's always crowded with people who are a lot of visitors, tourists, and they are spending money. So I look and say, how can our shopping malls today be empty, but yet the Pearl Street Mall can be full? The second thing I thought about was if today more of your customers are finding you online before you find them, if you looked at your online presence as a mall, wouldn't you want more people to be finding you? More people to want to spend more time? More people perhaps to share their experience with others? And at the end, more people wanting to buy your product. And what got me thinking about this as I walked up and down the Pearl Street Mall was I noticed the crowd, but then I also noticed how crowds were gathered around certain areas. And I looked and saw they were all gathered around, if you will, entertainers, street entertainers. And those entertainers are providing an experience that people are glued to. And I thought about how often a building material company sets off to do a new website or looks at their online presence, and they do I think they make a couple of mistakes. I think they start at the wrong point. And so they'll start at the point of what should a website for our type of product look like, and what content should it contain, and what should be the navigation to make it easy for the customer. And they then, of course, always go look at the competition's website and get some ideas from there about ideas they're either going to copy or ideas that they're, of course, going to do better. But in the end, because of that approach, most websites to me are pretty much the same. I know the designers of the websites would, vehemently disagree with me that their website's different, but basically to me, one faucet website's much like another, one door website or window website is much like another, fireplaces and so forth. Sure, the typefaces, the headlines, the color, the type of photography are all different, but at some point you get into rather quickly a selection process of here are our 200 different faucets, which one do you want? Okay? And I wondered what would happen if when you started out to think about your online presence, which is not only your website, it's things like content marketing, blogs, social media presence, all of those things are your online presence. And if you step back and said, how could we create a better experience for the customer? How could perhaps we create the unexpected? How could we create something that makes people want to come back and spend more time? That the end result is that they just like our company better. And so it got me thinking as I walked up and down Pearl Street, as you're going to see here in a minute. I have some just clips of some of what's going on in Pearl Street. And I thought about, if your creative team got together and didn't have these blinders on that said, what must a website or online presence be for this type of company? If they really took the blinders off, and had the website perhaps be entertaining, something that you want to come to, something that inspires you. Perhaps rather than here's a website with just pretty pictures of decks and details about why your deck is better than somebody else's and a deck design software, What if the website was all the crazy fun things you can do with a deck? And what happens to those poor families that don't have a deck? And perhaps there's contests and fun things going on. And all of a sudden now you're inspiring people to say, you know, we need a deck. We need a really nice deck. Wouldn't imagine us with all that fun. Isn't that funny to watch what can happen on a deck? And you could go through any of the product categories in building materials and take the same approach. And I'm not advocating that this is the right way to do things. I just feel that like much of building materials, it's all kind of stuck in a rut. Everything kind of looks and operates the same. So it makes it hard for something to stand out. And if you would start from a standpoint of what if we didn't have any rules about what our online presence looks like, other than we want to be have the online presence that attracts the most traffic, the most interest, that results in the most inquiries and sales, what might that look like? I think it could be pretty successful and exciting, at least to go through the motions of considering it. So take a look here at my walk down Pearl Street as you think about your online presence and what unexpected things could you do with your online presence.
One of the things I started to notice makes you want to play, makes you feel good about all this. What's it like?
Forceful hits. I see.
Think about how many people are looking for your product online. It's the first place they go.
Trying on Saturday. Right on.
It also says here his eyes are brown.
I hope you enjoyed my little walk down Pearl Street and it gave you some food for thought about your approach to online marketing and how you can step out of the ordinary, step out of the unexpected, and do something really unique that makes you the #1 online source presence in your category of products. If I can ever help you stimulate your thinking, please reach out to me if you ever have any questions or just would like my observations. Please reach out to me.